The whole Course in Miracles is actually to bring the mind back to the real cause and effect, basically. Because in this, we all know that there's some kind of dissatisfaction and suffering and unhappiness that's we're feeling. And the way the ego thought system is saying to us is the problem of that is specific and is out there, and let's try to find solution. So that's really the ego's way. Is the problem is in the relationships, the problem is in the jobs, the problem is in the money, the problem is in the health. These are the causes of your suffering, and let's try to fix the specific situation. And in A Course in Miracles, basically the whole book is trying to bring it back, and especially in lesson 121, forgiveness gives me happiness. The whole lesson, if you read it through, is not about forgiveness, it's about unforgiving mind experience fear, an unforgiving mind experience guilt, an unforgiving mind experience suffering, an unforgiving mind is experiencing this and that. So basically it just zoom in the cause of all the problems you can think of to one thing, an unforgiving mind. That's what lesson 121 is saying. Then lesson 122 is saying forgiveness offers everything I want. So forgiving mind brings everything I want. Contentment, peace, a deep sense of connection, everything I want. It's through forgiveness. If the cause is unforgiving mind, then the solution is forgiveness, basically. So yesterday, Tina was asking, okay, if the Course is all talking about forgiveness, then how do we do it? How do we do it? Basically, this question of how and what. And David was saying, what we are forgiving is the illusion. What we're forgiving is attack or judgment that are not true. But what are the judgments that are not true? All the judgments that we see and we think about the world, we think about ourselves, we think about others, are all not true. So that's our job, to forgive. And then, how do we do forgiveness? That's the most essential question everybody wants to ask. Give me a formula, give me an exercise I can do so that I know how do I do forgiveness. In the Course, Jesus actually said, forgiveness does nothing. So why don't you just do nothing and allow Him, capital H, to show you how it can be done. So in a way, that is why all these trips and gatherings we're offering, there is no exercise and formula that we can say, you do it so that you forgive the thought in your own mind. Because that's not how it is. All we're saying is trust the Spirit, that get in touch with the inner voice of the Spirit and allow Him to show you how to change your mind from an unforgiving mind to a forgiving mind. Allow Him to show you the falsity of all the judgment about this world and who you are. And this is the way that we live our life. This is the way that we work, so to speak. This is our work and our life and our state of mind are not separate. We don't have work, relationship, life, rest, that we behave differently. And that's how I was saying to the work question, we are not going to be satisfied if we have different ways of living in our life. And certain part of our life, after work 2 hours, we're going to attend course groups and we express and we talk about how to forgive. Then 8 hours of work, we're going to do whatever we do. But we're here just to show you forgiveness is a forgiving way of living. Forgiveness is a pathway of life. And this pathway of life is not a doing, it's allow the Spirit to guide us to live the way that we live. And that is forgiveness. And it applies to everything we do. It's like the lighthouse, the light have to sweep every corner of our mind and every corner of our life. We have no relationship separate from this. We have no job separate from this. It's one big flow. There is no separation from this being guided by the Spirit, and our lives are so spacious in mind, so to speak. The Spirit can tell us what to do in this very moment, and we have no obstacle that stop us from following. And that's really the message. If you have the eyes to see, this is really the teaching. It's not this. The teaching is, this is a way of living, and it is a big flow of life. This is how we communicate with each other. Communication is so important, and we trust everything that Spirit guides us to do. We have no structure that we impose on our lives, on our work, on our relationship. It's completely open for the Spirit to tell us what it is, and we're very comfortable to stay in this I don't know mind. And in that, communication is very much a big part, because we want to share all our thoughts and not assume that part of the thoughts can be false and part of the thoughts can be real. We don't know. If I don't know, then I'm going to fully communicate everything without preference of the result, and allow the Spirit to guide us and see. And then, the course will talk about the characteristic of God's teachers and trust. That's one thing, trust everything. And that's really another thing that we want to emphasize. Trust is our way of living. Trust everything. We don't really talk about the past. We don't really plan about the future, and we don't really talk a lot about the present in form either. Because why? Not because it's wrong, because the mind is so in trust. We don't need to think about this. We just allow the Spirit to show us, and it's completely shown and it's completely followed. And we also trust that we don't have to fix other people, because if Spirit is guiding me, the Spirit is guiding everyone. And we just need to support each other to stay in this trust together. And the teacher of God is open-minded because of this trust, because it doesn't know, so that the job, the relationship, the lives are completely, all options are open. We just wait for the Spirit to guide. And that is forgiveness. That is how I can say what forgiveness is. It's this kind of state of mind, and it's this kind of flow of life.